Hey YouTube, what's up? Boba7772 here, and today I'm going to do a more or less spoiler-free review of A New Dawn. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, I did a spoiler review, which pretty much was like a 30-minute video of me just going over the entire book for the majority of that part, and then I gave my opinion. So what I'm going to do here is just go over the characters, what I think of the characters, then what I think of the book overall, without giving spoilers. So I'm going to grab this notebook, which my camera was resting on, and read my notes, or my character notes from here. So the characters we have in this book, first of all, is Deba Bilaba. She is a Jedi who is in this, and she's I guess, we didn't really see her too much. I don't think that's too spoilery. But she was an actual Jedi in Episode 1 and apparently Episode 2. And she is a human female, and when I say no spoilers, when I do give spoilers, I'm just going, like, I'm not going to give spoilers for anything but the prologue here, which, I mean, aren't even major spoilers. But she was the Jedi Master of a Jedi named Caleb Dune. So, yeah, that's pretty much Deba. I don't think I'll have as hard of a time going over the other characters. Kanan Jarrus, obviously, if we look up at the book, it's this guy right here. He's one of the protagonists from Star Wars Rebels. You know, we all know his story, ex-Jedi. If you read the back of the book, it kind of just explains that he has to choose, you know, does he want to fight the Empire because he went into hiding on the, you know, hope that he would stay alive. So does he choose to fight the Empire? Well, I mean, obviously, if you watch anything about Rebels, or also just an educated guesser, you can probably guess what he does, but he pretty much has to face a decision at a point in this. Is am I gonna sit back and let the Empire do this to us all the time, or am I gonna stand up and do something? So, other than Kanan, the other major protagonist would be Hera Syndulla. There are a couple of minor protagonists I will get to in a moment. Hera Syndulla, I think she'll be easy without saying spoilers. She's just pretty much going around the book looking for people to join her cause. Obviously, she is trying to, you know, she has her own motives, which we don't really learn much about anything with her in this book, but she's very smart, very cunning, and a very strong character that I think was very well written. And she's just, you know, she's doing her own thing. Now, the other protagonists in this, I'll go over and I do like both of these characters, but I'll go over one first, and then I'll go over the other one, which just happens to be my favorite character, if that makes sense. So the first one is Zeluna. She's a female Solistan, and she's pretty much a communications officer. She's somebody who sits in a computer room and watches for potential crime on monitors, or crime itself, and will get people arrested and off the streets, and then she never sees them again. And she's been doing this for years. Apparently before the Empire, and when the Republic was still around, like during and before the Clone Wars, it was a bit more noble than when the Empire took over. But you know, stuff happens, and she gets drawn in with Hera Syndulla and Kanan Jarrus. Now, another character who is my favorite character in this book is Skelly. He is just, I mean, I don't know how anyone couldn't love that character. He's just amazing, and a really fun and lovable character. I don't think it's spoilerish really, but a nickname that he has in this book is the Bomber, because he likes explosives, bombs and all that. So he got, you know, nickname at least by one character, the Bomber. And he's just like, I don't even know how to explain his awesomeness. I will say that he got into a fight with somebody way out of his league, and he ended up getting away from it, and he got like the best revenge ever. And also, without saying anything spoilerish, I think that he had the most fully rounded, you know, most probably the story with the most closure to it. Obviously, Canon and Hera don't have closure to their stories because this is their prequel novel, so to introduce them before New Dawn, because that's where they're really going to shine. So they never really came full circle. Zeluna, she kind of did, but Skelly is the one character who really did come full circle. He's just an amazing character, and I kind of hope that we see more of Skelly. Another character is Okadai Garson. Not really much to say about him. I do believe he's human. He's a male, and he's kind of like a father figure to Canon. He kind of owns a bar, and Canon works for him, and he took him in when Canon got to Gorse, while Canon kind of planet hops, which Canon's planning to planet hop around again at some point in this book. And he actually does care about Okadaya more than he cares about really anyone else who's ever taken care of him. So now that we have kind of the protagonists out of the way, there are two kind of antagonist characters in this book who are both Imperial. One is Ray Sloan. A lot of people like her. Pretty much her story is she is an Imperial officer. I would have to say that her story kind of came full circle in this too. She had an absolutely wonderful story. A bunch of people liked her. I liked her. I just didn't think that... I think that she's kind of overrated, and I don't say that really as a bad thing. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I'm a huge Revan fanboy, and people seem to be... or fangirl, however you want to say it. I find fangirl funnier and a lot more awesomer. But if I see people, especially on the forums I visit, like, they really like Ray Sloan, and, she's a cool character. I just don't see, like, how she's a great character. But she's really, really cool. Now, the other character, other than Ray Sloan, and Ray Sloan, one more thing, she's just kind of an Imperial officer. Another character is Count Vidian, and he is a male cyborg, and I just remember in my spoiler video I said I was going to talk more about his past, but I never did. But I won't talk about it here either. Count Vidian he's got a thing where you kind of learn his backstory, and he's got a pretty cool backstory. Unfortunately, it is all contained in this book. There's nothing like hinting out from earlier sources that you can tie him into, but Count Vidian was a really awesome character, and one of my favorite characters in this book, probably my second favorite character next to Skelly. His story came full around too, and he was just awesome. Now that I've gone over all the characters, really the basic plot of this book is the protagonists of this book have to kind of stand up to the Empire. How do they do that? Obvious questions like who's going to survive, what's the outcome going to be, how are these characters going to change. Obviously, I don't think that this requires a spoiler alert, but Canon and Hera, who are two characters who appear in Rebels, obviously make it out. I'm not going to say anything for characters like Sloan, Skelly, Depa, Okadai, Vidian, Zeluna, or any of them, because all their fates are, you don't know their fate when you start going into this book, and that's one of the things that you want to keep reading. Like, you'll pick a character, like my favorite was Skelly, and I'm going through the whole thing, like, I really hope Skelly survives this, because I really want to see him again in future, like, stuff that happens after this, not just the forced... flashback things. Like, have a book that takes place before this and tell Skelly's backstory, like, yeah, I know that he survives because he was in the New Dawn book. So yeah, it's things like that. Like, I really hope Vidian survives, that's just one of the main reasons that this is a good book. And these characters are actually really likable. So, do these characters stand up to the Empire? How does the Empire deal with this? Because obviously they're a megaforce. Some characters obviously have a harder time doing it than others. Some characters have an easier time doing it than others. Some characters are confused about the whole thing. Some characters, some just don't really know what their path is, and then some, like Hera, do know what their path is. I think I said that really spoiler free there. So yeah, that's a basic synopsis of the characters and the story without really going too much into spoiler. Now, what do I think of this book? Well, this is probably one of my favorite Star Wars books ever written, actually. And the reason for that would be the short, sweet chapters, and it is very entertaining. It had my attention the whole time. I never really got strayed for it. I didn't want to put it down. Well, I mean, at the first it's kind of slow, but it really picks up by the middle-ish end part. And I could not put it down. I swear, I fell asleep actually reading this book one of the nights, and then I had to do schoolwork the next day, so I had to like hurry and do all my college courses. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a lazy day today. And I just read and read and read, and I finished like pretty late that night. But I could not put this down once it really got going. J.J. Miller, John Jackson Miller, is an absolutely wonderful writer. I really am going to look into the other Star Wars books that he has written, like Kenobi for one, and I have to read those because I heard Kenobi was good. It just never seemed appealing to me because I read the Plagueis book and it sounded like it was going to be another Plagueis, and Plagueis was boring, though I am glad I read it. I don't think that's going to be the case. So I highly recommend not only picking up this book, guys, but also picking up other books by John Jackson Miller, which I've read quite a few Star Wars books, so I've probably read some stuff by him. But this book is an absolutely wonderful addition to the Star Wars universe. They did great by making it the first part of literature for the new EU. And it's just all around a really good standalone, self-contained story. So this book retails for about $27. There will be a paperback coming out next year, and the only reason I have a paperback right now, this one, is because I bought it off eBay. The bug on it, dang it. And I want to show it's a signed copy, which is awesome. I would have rather been there to have him sign it himself, have him sign it while I was there, but you know, it doesn't really matter. So I got this one to support the author because I thought it was such a wonderful book, plus I like having hardback versions of books. The hardback version, once again, is $27. You can find it for cheaper. I got mine for $21 because I got a day one release. You could probably find it on sale quite a bit because books go on sale quite a lot. And if you really want to wait for a paperback book, that should be out soon. But I don't think that anyone should wait for the paperback book because this is a wonderful story. So yeah, I'm not going to ramble anymore. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to subscribe for more content like book reviews and all that stuff. And until next time, keep collecting. Bye.